going to do a video about Procreate. It's probably actually going to be a few videos. I've been meaning to do this, and I've asked on Instagram some questions you guys had, and you guys had a lot of questions. So there's several things I'm going to talk about, but they will probably be in different videos. So I am going to talk about in another video about stickers, how to make stickers. I'll talk about lettering and fonts. I'll give you links to anything I have links for. And then maybe we'll create something and I'll kind of show you how I create it. And then, what were the other questions? Some questions just about like style and stuff like that. So we'll kind of go through everything, but I'll probably split it up into a few videos so that it's not like an hour-long video. So first, this is Procreate. This is on the iPad. It looks like this. This is something just Apple exclusive, so it's not something that's on Android or anything. So it's on the iPad. It was for a while just on the iPad Pro, like the pencil could be just on the iPad Pro, but now I think most iPads can do it, but like the newer ones. But I use the Procreate and then I use an Apple Pencil, and that's how I create everything. So that is how I create all my art prints that I make. It's how I create my stickers, so all the like digital stickers I make or physical stickers in my shop. Scripture memory, all the memory cards, even my prayer journal. So all the prayer journals I've ever made have always been made on the iPad. Even my tabs, for the most part, I do the design and I do the lettering of the tabs. And then I do use one other program, and that's on the computer, and that's called Pixelmator Pro. And that's basically like a Photoshop or an Illustrator, but it's cheaper and not as difficult to use. At least I found Illustrator to be very hard to use, and I think it's pretty expensive monthly, where the program I use is $20 or $30 forever. So you just buy it once and then you get to use it. So basically, I use that more for formatting. So I will like take my art prints, like 4 art prints from here, create them on here, send them to my computer, send them to Pixelmator, and then like arrange them on a sheet so they're ready to print. So that's really what I use for that. But for the most part, most stuff is designed on Procreate. So that's a basic overview. Someone had asked about organizing. So the way I organize it is I do just kind of get a square, a basic 4x4 square, and I put it to the front. And I usually just, do a simple design. So it says art prints. So I have all my stuff organized. So art prints, texture paper, here's sticker. This is the studio stuff. And then all the studio different categories have its own, place too. Scripture memory, kids resources. And then I've got prayer journal, even like YouTube. The stuff I make, like the cover picture I make on here. I do some scrapbooking on here sometimes, so I do like digital scrapbooking, so stuff like that. And then, let's see what else. Yeah, like I said, tabs, logos, just designs. I designed my tattoo on here, my dad's tattoo, my mom's tattoo. But yeah, just basically lettering, all that kind of stuff. So, let's share. So what I wanted to say is someone had asked about style, and I will say that style changes. My style has changed a lot, and it's kind of just playing around with stuff and figuring out what you like and don't like. I will even say that phrase, practice makes perfect. I do feel like that's kind of true because my handwriting has changed a lot. So like this was something I created the other day. This I created the other day. So I'm just trying to get you, like, kind of get a feel for what my handwriting looks right now. That I made probably a couple weeks ago. And then, now I lost a bunch of stuff because I changed my iTunes account and I lost a bunch of stuff. But this is still pretty old. So this is what my handwriting used to look like. So I don't know if you can tell. I can definitely tell. I like it a lot better right now, the way my handwriting is. So I do feel like it changes. And if you practice and like do it every day, it will get better basically. So again, those were all just, I don't think there's dates on these, but those were all a lot older. Let's see if I can find anything else. Yeah, it just looks different. So anyways, I will say, just keep practicing, because that is really, I feel like, what helps. And then anyways, like I create everything on here. So like flowers, I feel like maybe we'll do a whole separate thing on flowers. But one thing is, I'm gonna make a new one. So to make something new, again, I don't know how, when you guys asked me these questions, I'm not sure how in-depth you wanted me to go, how basic you wanted me to go, but you can just push this plus button and create a new canvas. You can push this plus button, and then you can create whatever size you want. So you got pixels, you got inches. I usually do inches, and so I do 4x4 a lot. That's like the Instagram square size, or it's good for Instagram squares. It's good for like printing out little art prints. So I like to do 4x4. And then for the DPI, that's like the resolution. I do 635, and then it's going to give me 79 layers. So if I were to change this, and let's say we did 300, you can see that the layers change. So now I can have 368 layers. If I were to change it to 800 DPI, now I only have 48 layers. So it does limit your layers depending on what you do. Same thing if we were going to do like an 8.5 by 11, so like paper size, and 800 DPI, that gives us 4 layers. So not a lot. And I do typically like to have a lot of layers, because when I'm making flowers and making stuff, it's nice to have layers. So I like to keep it at 635. I think 300 is a little too low. 635 is pretty good, and that's going to give us 79 layers. And then I'm going to click create, and now we can create something. So on here, over here, you have the size of the brush. So you can do like a really thick, or you can do thin, and it'll depend on the brush. And then you've got opacity over here. So it'll be, lighter over here, and now it'll be darker. I usually don't even touch the opacity. This is like redo and undo. This button you can click, and you can do like copy stuff and paste it. Depending on what kind of pencil you have, if you have a newer one, there's like a button on it, so you can click it twice and you can do stuff here. And I created this, so like you can change these. So I have new layer, add text, but you can have them say different, like do different stuff basically. And then up here you have your brushes. So these are all my brushes. Then you've got, I don't even use this tool to be honest. And then the eraser, and then this is the layers. So we could like change the background color to whatever we want. I usually choose like a light gray color. And then here is colors. So these are all my color palettes. I've bought some of these. I've made some of these myself. You can make them from pictures too, which is kind of fun. So we can click this plus button and say new from photos. So let's say you have a photo of something you really, really love. I'm going to choose, I have like some flowers here. So you could click this flower, and it's going to basically import it and take it and like give you a whole, give you all the colors. It pulls out all those colors from that picture and makes a palette. And then you can choose, like maybe this one's too dark. You can just click on that, click delete. So that's what I do a lot. I'll just like delete stuff. Those are too dark. This is too red for my taste. And then I could even add some. Maybe I want like another, maybe I want this goldy color. I can, add colors to it. You can also click down here to the disc, and this will just give you colors. So you could just create your own. You can say, I just want a bunch of pinks, and you can choose it, go like this, choose another one. So there are lots of options for that. And then for the brushes, so my favorite lettering brushes, this one is called Soft Shade by Half a Pix. This has been my favorite for a very long time. It's very pretty, and you can see that it's got like this, like, it just does this automatic thing behind it, a shade basically. So I really like that one. And then this new one I've been using, this Inkwell Modern, I really liked too. So that's been one I've been using a lot. So one thing I will say with lettering on the iPad, it's not the same as lettering on a piece of paper. So I'm going to come in here and change something real fast and show you. So if I was to do nothing to this brush, I downloaded this brush and I just left it as it is, and I'm going to write the word hi, and you'll see how that's what it looks like. You can see it's very like shaky and just does not look good. And I'm going to show you on a piece of paper what my handwriting actually looks like, because it's definitely different. So if I was to write hi, that's what it would look like. So you can see it looks a lot better than. Okay, so that's what my handwriting actually looks like. But if you just download a brush and use it as it is, this is what it comes like. So this is why I think a lot of people, like, they try to letter on the iPad and they're like, oh my goodness, it doesn't look good. Like, no, that does not look good. But what you do is you go to the brush, you click on it, you go to this stabilization and this streamline right here, amount, I change it. And you can mess around with it. I've done it where I see what 60% looks like, see what this percent looks like. But this particular brush, I like it at 98%. So I click done, and then I'm going to do a new layer, and we're going to do the same thing where we write hi. And you can see that it looks a little more like my actual handwriting would on a piece of paper. So that's kind of what I'm looking for when I'm doing the stabilization, is just to make it look like my handwriting actually would look. So that is my biggest tip, is always use the stabilization. So we have lots of different brushes, and you can download brushes. Again, like this brush right here is my favorite for making flowers. So I usually make my flowers using that brush. This is another one that's fun to do flowers because it's kind of like a watercolory brush. This is a good one. This is a watercolor brush that I like for lettering because it's like it's watery. So it looks like watercolor. Let's see, where's the other one I have? Yeah, there's just different kinds, and you can just download all these. Like this one is yeah, see, I usually use that one for a flower. That one's fun for flowers because it's kind of messy. And so the biggest thing some of you guys were asking me was like, how do you find your style? A lot of it just takes like practicing, like downloading a bunch of different brushes and trying out your style and seeing what you like. That's what I have found works for me. So, yeah. And then one tip for lettering, one thing I like to do is, we're going to letter, we're just going to letter never ending hope. So first what I do is I just letter it. I kind of do like a quick little never, and I'm going to make it centered. Do a new layer. Let's say you didn't do a new layer, okay? So on that last one, I did not do a new layer. So now I have the word ending in hope on the same line. And if I try to center it, this one's not centered with that. So what you would do is you take this little button here and you put it on freehand, and I'm just going to like trace around the word hope and then click the arrow, and now it has just the word hope, and now I can put it centered where I want it. Okay, so like that. And I'm going to center, oops. Then I'm going to combine all these and then center all of it. Okay, so that's what I do for the first round. Then what I always do is I click the layers, I click this N, and the opacity is at max. I'm going to bring it like all the way down and create a new layer. And now I'm going to letter it again. And the reason I do that is it's just what works for me. So this might not work for you. But if you notice, like this G and the E are like too close together, but I don't want the hope way down. And so I know that's one thing I'm going to fix. And then I can just kind of look at it and be like, yeah, I didn't really like the way the E looked. Like I just like to do a basic like rough draft almost. And then I come back and like make it, I don't want to say make it perfect because it's never perfect, but you know what I mean? Like make it better, make it more the way I want to. So yeah, that's okay. And I'm very picky with my lettering, guys, that I will re-letter stuff like a lot. So I'm going to do this. And I'm actually going to letter the hope first so I know where my G can go. So I do this too, where I kind of like skip around letters and just try different things. Like, oh, do I want to do hope with a little like twirl thing? Yeah, if you actually watch me in real time letter stuff, like you guys, it takes me forever because I can kind of be a perfectionist when it comes to my lettering. Okay, so I like that. And now I'm going to come back and I'm going to letter the N and G because now I know where my G can basically go. You know what I mean? Okay, so like that. And then you know what? I just don't feel like lettering never. Not that I don't feel like it. I like to mix it up with fonts. Okay, sorry. I should go slower for that. Okay. So to do a font, we're going to click this button and click add text. I'm going to make it caps and write the word never. And then I'm going to highlight it and click this A, and I'm going to choose the font I want. The font I really like right now is called Sunrays. It's just something I downloaded online. And then I'm going to put it there. And now I need to come back and delete that because you can still see, can you see like that light layer? So I need to delete that layer. And now it looks like that. So now I can take 2 fingers and swipe on this. And now you can see like there's a little box. So now that means I can change the color. So I'm going to just choose a color and then click on it and then click fill layer. And now it's going to fill out those words basically. Same thing with this. You could either edit the text, click on it, and then go choose a color, or you can click on it and click this rasterize and then swipe this way. And now it's basically almost like I lettered it. It's like basically a pixelated thing. So now I can just change the color to whatever I want. And now we have that. So that is the basics of lettering. Also, there's like things you can do with brushes. So you can make your own brushes. You can purchase brushes. So like here's a brush and you can just, I need to do a new layer. So always add a new layer. It just makes like your life easier. So you can just like add something there. Maybe make it smaller. Maybe I add a new layer and I'll just go like that. Click this and now I can move it around and decide exactly where I want it. Add a new layer and we'll choose another color and we will maybe do some triangles. We can make them bigger. And there, now we have a little, little art piece done. So that is the lettering. Trying to think what else you guys asked me about lettering. A lot of questions were just about style. So let's look at a few things. The things I've been creating lately, again, it's just kind of preference too. But let's see, so I created this the other day. So again, just like mixing it up. So I, therefore take up like some of these more simple words, right? So this is the armor of God, verse 13. So the whole thing is, therefore take up the whole armor of God that you may be able to withstand the evil day and having done all to stand firm. For me, I like to typically letter stuff that are the big words, meaning like armor, maybe withstand, stand firm, stuff like that. So I came in and did armor. And then either letter or even use a font. So with stand, I did in a big blocky font, and then I lettered stand firm. And then the more like simple words like therefore take up, that you may be able to in the evil day, having done all, like that kind of stuff, I like to do in like a simple font. So that is what I do. I just, and I usually like letter the whole thing. And you know what? I think what we'll do, my next video, I will choose a verse and we will do like step by step of how I would create it to look like this, because it is kind of a process, but it's very fun and it's cool to have, like all these verses kind of, lettered and like in different styles and everything. So yeah, that is the basics. So I think I'm going to stop there. That's kind of the basics of it, but I'm going to do a whole video on we'll do a piece together and then I'll share stickers, how I make stickers. And then maybe how to do flowers, like just a bunch of different styles of flowers. And then, yeah, so I hope that was helpful. Let me know, out of all the stuff I said I'm going to share, let me know if there's anything else you're wanting to see about the iPad. You know what, actually, sorry, let me back up. Let me give you like a few more simple things. So simple stuff is if you are lettering with just a brush, you can make a circle very easily. You can go like this and hold it, and now it just made it actually made an ellipse. You can change it to a circle or you can change it to ellipse. So that's a very easy way to like make a shape. And then if I want to color this in, you could obviously color the whole thing in. But what you can also do is make sure you're still on that layer, and you can just take this color up here and go like this and color it in. Or you can even change it to a different color so that it, you know, looks a little different. So go like this, and now you've got a colored image. Same thing with, so you can do that over here. So you can click this and you can click rectangle. You can do a rectangle super easy. Click rectangle, click color fill, and then choose a color, and you can just go like this, and now it just made a rectangle. So I do this a lot when I'm making stickers and I need to put a backing on stickers. That's what I do. You can also do it like this, and then again hold it down, and it'll kind of make it perfect, but as you can see, like, it doesn't look that good. So it doesn't look as good as when you do the actual rectangle. You can do the ellipse too. So go like that, and it'll make it a color. The other thing is when you're lettering something. So let's say we just lettered, so let's say we lettered the word love, and now we want it to be a bunch of different colors. So a couple things. Either we can, I'm going to duplicate this, and okay, we're just going to use this one right now. I'm going to save this one for something else. So we got love. We could, you know, do your 2-finger swipe and just choose some colors, and you can come in here and go like this. You could do the whole thing, or you can just make it so it'll kind of like blend together. Okay, so that's one, like you could do that. You can also click this button up here and click this blur, and now you're just gonna, and you just take your finger, and I'm gonna zoom in, but you can see, you see how it's like kind of blurring. You don't want to do it too much. Like right here, you can definitely see, like this is what it looks like. Do you see the, like there's the different colors, but if you go like this, now it's kind of blurring in, so it looks a little bit better. So that's one option. The other thing you can do is go like this and create a layer right on top and do some different colors. So I'm going to take like just a big brush and color right on top of it. Okay, and then I'm going to come back here and I'm going to click on it, and I'm going to click clipping mask. And now it just clipped it right there. So then you can see it's there, and you can go back here to the blur and make it more blurry so it kind of blends in together. But that's another way to do that. Just some like basic stuff. If you have your favorite brush, so this one's my favorite, and you see all these little marks, you can make those on there to save your spot. So let's say I'm lettering, and let me get on a new layer. I'm lettering and I'm like, I don't really like that, and I go down and I'm like, oh, this size is just perfect and I love this size. You can click on this right here and then push the plus button, and now it'll save that. And then maybe sometimes I like to do, see, that's just very thin, but let's say I like that one too. I can click that and push the plus, and maybe I like this one here, click the plus. And so now when I come to use this brush, I know that I've got my 3 favorite sizes, and I can just click on one and use it. So that's a really cool tool too. And then if you don't like it, you can click on it again and just push the minus, and it'll just delete it off there. Okay, I think that kind of covers the basics.